We have been seeing the failure of diplomacy for the last many years. In February 2014, the EU played the role of a mediator between President of Ukraine and the opposition. This was the epitome of diplomacy, and the next morning the opposition spitted at this diplomacy and the European Union swallowed it. Then the diplomacy reached another height. In February 2015, in Minsk, we all signed an agreement that put an end to the war in eastern Ukraine. This agreement opened way to restore the territorial integrity of Ukraine by granting a special status to Donbass. This was roughly the same status as was provided for by the community of Serbian municipalities in Kosovo. In both cases, the European Union was an active part of reaching this diplomatic result. And in both cases, the European Union completely proved its ineffectiveness as an organization that is capable of implementing what has been put on paper.
Speaking of democracies and autocracies, this community of democracies represented by the EU, NATO, and the US, which have currently become one. This community of democracy is blatantly autocratic regarding other members of the world community. Perhaps the world dictatorship would be even more appropriate. I think these are those who couldn't imagine a life without so-called Western values and being welcomed with open arms by the West, who find themselves isolated. I believe that there are more important things in the world, and most countries and civilizations on the planet are guided by those more important things. We need to respect each other instead of imposing your own pseudo-values that have only emerged a little while ago when the neoliberalism emerged. And they are now trying to repress these civilizations that have been developing for thousands of years. This way leads to nowhere. Perhaps they will continue following this path for a while more, but historically this path is doomed, and it is that points you towards isolation.